Welcome to another Conversations in the Void. I'm your host, Graveyard, joined as always with my off-screen producer, Salem. Make sure to say hi to him in the chat. He likes to hear from every one of you. And I'm pleased to introduce our guest for tonight. He's an actor with works including A Heart in Pieces, The Sin Reapers, and A Vampire's Heartbreak. Please welcome to the show, John Khinda.
Thanks for having me. How's everyone doing?
Oh, pretty good for Wednesday. I do the show on middle of the week just to as a breather between the weekends. How about you?
Cool. I just watched the Knicks come back again from down 20 points to beat the Boston Celtics, which is always fun.
Yeah. I'm from Chicago, so always Bulls, for me.
Oh yeah, I was a big time Bulls fan myself in the 90s. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you had to be across the country for sure. So, John, I'd like to get to know a little bit more about you. And do you consider yourself like a horror lover at all by chance?
Yeah, but not like crazy into it. Where I've worked with some directors where they were obsessive about it, and like their Halloweens they'd go like full tilt into it, and that's still on my bucket list of like I want to go full on hardcore into the Halloween, where I'm like. Literally looked like the character. I'm cosplaying.
Yeah. Oh yeah. At our house, we love horror. We watch horror movies all year long and stuff like that. But do you remember what your first horror movie was that you saw?
Probably like Nightmare on Elm Street. One of the like something of that like late 80s, one of those 80s big time movies. But I definitely saw Nightmare on Elm Street before I saw like Friday the 13th and Candyman. Yeah.
Rip Tony Todd.
Yeah, rip.
Exactly. Yeah, you're an actor and stuff like that too. But do you remember kind of what really brought you into the world of acting? It was like any particular TV show or movie that you go, I want to do that.
Just watch as a young age, just getting into like, that's what we did. Like we went to the movies, like with Jurassic Park, like 1993. I remember being one of the later people to see it. It was in like that ilk of Titanic, Avatar, Inception, where one of those in 1993 or even 92, it might have been in the theater that long that it was like, that was the movie. And then having all those movies, you'd go see Back to the Future. You'd go see the new Ghostbusters movie. You'd go see. I hope at one point cinemas is back like that. Besides just Marvel movies,
right? They tried, what was that, Megalopolis that they tried last year that tanked seemingly in the theaters just because it was supposed to be I think a 3-hour plus movie, and they had like an intermission, but it didn't do well.
Yeah, it's hard to nail a 3-hour.
Yeah.
Because I like Irishman, and I think I watched that in like parts.
Yeah, I mean, if it's for me myself, if it's a franchise or something that seems really really interesting to me, I will still go out and see it in theaters. I have to see the next Jordan Peele movie. I want to see the next, obviously, Thunderbolts, Fantastic Four, and everything like that too. So I will be willing to pay that kind of money to go see it. But like DC, I'm not a DC fan. People can not like me for it, but I don't care to see Superman in the theaters.
Well, even people that are fans of it, they can't argue that those movies have left a lot.
Yeah,
people wanted a lot. Like,
yeah. So, I mean, what do you think kind of we'll be able to do other besides Marvel and DC and big franchises to get theaters back? Do you think maybe it shouldn't be $20 a ticket at this point in time?
I don't know about that. I think they just got to get back to like where it's the Godfathers, the Rockies, all like more original content.
Yeah.
Not just like remake ABZ, whatever. Like,
right.
Every like get some original ideas, because TV shows are like, you always hear about TV shows and how like, and it's always the show that's original is what's like gets people into it.
Hmm.
But every movie is like another Ghostbuster movie.
Oh yeah.
And Marvel is even running out of ideas now. You can see it like that. It's slowed down
Hmm.
because like 6 years ago, it was like you couldn't wait to see Avengers, Infinity War, then Endgame, then all these movies. But even now, it's like peaked, and now it's like I'm looking forward to seeing Thunderbolts and like you said, Fantastic Four. But like it's like peaked, it's brought down.
Right.
Yeah.
And I, with people like yourself, and I'm part of the indie horror community, and we realize that there's indie, here, and then there is the huge blockbusters up here that have to make so much money to be successful. But that middle ground, that $4 million movie that could easily make a profit, isn't being made. So they're spending stupid amounts of money for no return on a lot of these things.
Yeah. I mean, for a long time, I felt like some filmmakers don't know what they're doing, and they don't even know how to cast. And
Mm-hmm.
it's how many subscribers you have, or like it's throwing paint against the wall and just trying stuff.
Right.
Versus having a like where maybe in the 80s or 90s or even before that, people probably had more passion for like you need a passionate story, and then throw yourself into that, even with like $1,000 or whatever, or like very low budget.
Mm-hmm.
That I'd rather see that than just another thrown out whatever
Right.
movie.
Yeah, and I said that's that middle ground that we're missing. That us independent people just can't get the budget to do. Does a horror movie need to cost $10 million to make? No, there's no reason for it to cost that kind of money.
Mm-hmm.
Comedies. You think about like 4-Year-Old Virgin. Did that cost a lot of money to make? No, it's not. $50 million. It's just you don't have to go to that extreme. A lot of people I think are trying to bring back cinema and being the ones to do it and just losing money left and right.
Well, I hope people keep trying.
Oh yeah. So John, how did you get into acting? Was it something that you grew up with?
I was actually a big like WWE fan.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you're familiar with that. It's like sports entertainment, like professional wrestling. And I always thought when I was younger, I always thought I'm going to be I was always like obsessed with it. People would say I'm obsessed with it. So I'm like, I'm going to be a WWE champion.
Mm-hmm.
And so then when I'm in school, I'm like, I took acting to get like work on because you got to be able to talk. But then I was like, early 2000s when I was in school, wrestlers were like dying left and right.
Right.
And I'm like, that kind of goes against part of what I believe in too. And like, I want to live like, I feel like people like you have one life. You got to put your all into it. And I don't want to die wrestling. So then that kind of like, I love wrestling, but I don't want to die doing my job. So then I was like, I'm just going to focus on the acting part because I love movies, TV shows, etc. too. So
yeah,
I skewed away from that. I still love watching it as a fan, but it's like impossible to be a wrestler and not get injured or have something. A lot of them were dying in their 40s. I would be dead by now if I was a wrestler then, basically.
Yeah, they put their bodies through just too much stuff and then just have to heal up a day or two before the next event. I'm kind of in the same boat. If you looked really hard on YouTube, you'd find my backyard wrestling stuff that I put up there on YouTube like in 2007, 2008, that we did like 10 years before that. And yeah, it's just, I'm like, okay, I can do this. And as you said, being able to talk on the mic and stuff like that. Always wanted to do it. And I just kind of took that and ran with it in high school and just did acting and theater and drama as well. So you went to school. Were you doing this like in middle school or high school or even before?
Nah, I started it more like around college.
Around college? Okay.
Yeah. I was like in a theater, like theater slash speech classes, a lot of speech classes. Like, so speech major, I say speech. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then I took like a lot of random acting classes, like every kind of acting class you could think of. Then I just like 20 years ago or whatever, dived headfirst into it and learned that, oh, anyone could do this. You just gotta like keep at it and try your best and be creative. And it's about what you put into it.
Mm-hmm.
Make all these characters. Like WWE is all these larger than life characters.
Mm-hmm.
Do that, but do it in films.
Right. Yeah.
And the more effort you put into it, the better. Like, yeah, which is like filmmaking in a nutshell. The more you put into it,
Mm-hmm.
show your passion. I want to see your passion in your movie.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm not going to care.
That makes sense. It's as you said, everyone can do it, but I always hear people like, you may apply to 1,000 places, and maybe if you're lucky, get one call back.
Yeah, but yeah, that's true.
So I mean, with what you've done feature films, you've done short films, you've done web series. Do you have a preference in like what genre that you kind of or length you're working in?
Not really, because part of the like fun of it is taking on a role that you wouldn't like normally expect to. Like, if people see me right now
Mm-hmm.
and then they see me in a movie, I want them to like
Disassociate.
not be able to guess how I'm gonna play, like how I am as a actor, like basically,
Mm-hmm.
or even like playing it against type. If you think I'm one way, play it the other way, or even play it a way I didn't even think of.
Okay. So what kind of roles do you kind of most excite you? You think to be like kind of the opposite of you that people would not expect, John Khinda to do?
I like crazy, probably crazy roles, like a crazy person, or like a
Mm-hmm.
super bad guy. So, which is what a lot of the stuff I've been working on lately is like gangstery, crime drama stuff, like
Mm-hmm.
which like years past I've always done like random, just all this random stuff, and now it's more like it's more like what's a beeline, like a beeline towards all like crime-ish, more like villain stuff. And then I'm just learning how to I'm always trying to study. I watch a lot of YouTube videos on actors' careers and stuff, trying to take stuff from that and anything that'll help me, and then just make each little thing I work on is going to make me get better as a bad guy, playing the bad guy, doing anything,
Right.
even just like my how I'm standing, how I'm talking, like slowing down. You could do
Mm-hmm.
like a little. It could be one little thing that you do, and then it is more menacing. Like with stuff that I don't even know about yet. But yeah,
Right. I can see that. I think you see that stuff gearing towards more true crime and gangster stuff again. We had that rampant in the late 70s, 80s, and early 90s. Now we're back with all the true crime stuff. And it's giving people like yourself an ability to play the bad guy. Maybe a little twitch in your right eye just to show that you're a little unnerved, unhinged, right?
that's perfect. Yeah,
That's awesome.
and that's like real acting, not just like
Mm-hmm.
just going like where you control, like where you sometimes you pull back.
Right. Yeah. I can tell you when I've had to act in some of the stuff I do, I tend to almost black out in a way that I'm just there, but I'm not there. I'm just letting the moment kind of go with it and not get inside my own head.
Yeah, because that's the most important thing. That's what I've like. There was a period where I was working on like everything during COVID,
Mm-hmm.
and I wasn't doing that though. That was the thing I was missing. Where I'm on the lines, like I'm saying the lines, and I'm in. That's a character, like that's doing the character. But then there's a beauty in like just being in the moment, and not where you're like you pull back and you're doing less. Like it
Mm-hmm.
feels easier at one point. Like acting feels easier because you're so used to it, like,
Yeah.
and that's when your acting's best, I think,
Mm-hmm.
because you're more in the moment.
Right. Right. Now, with your works, you talk about reading lines like that. Do you have a lot of leeway in your projects to improvise or kind of go off the cuff and what feels right in that moment?
It varies because I've done like what's it called? Like commercials, or like I feel like commercials and like more like music videos, they want me to say the line, like say I have like one or two lines, it has to be like in 2 seconds or something.
Mm-hmm.
So then there's not much then there's not much you could do. Like you gotta say it in the 2 seconds that they have for that. Like, because commercials are like whatever, 30 seconds or 20 seconds or whatever. So then you're like, it's kind of like, some of it feels like robotic, or
Mm-hmm.
like, I don't know if that's the word, but you don't feel as much into like where it's like most villains I feel like are more like slow, controlled,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's just like giving a look, taking a breath, and then you like leave, or saying leave, or hit the bricks, like, or whatever it is. But
Right.
it's like it's not even what you say, it's like the other stuff. Versus, but in a commercial, I can't do that. I would just have to be like leave like quicker, like, so you might lose some of the,
Mm-hmm.
which is art in itself, like
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, do you kind of prefer, obviously, you have those 2-second roles in commercials. Do you prefer, like, you had a couple episodes of, say, Donut Kid that you're able to explore your character a little bit more over a period of time?
yeah, that's like Donut Kid, and Donut Kid was more like a kid superhero thing. But
Mm-hmm.
you mentioned Our Heart in Pieces. That was like one of the first films, like feature films that I worked on, where I was like one of the main people. And it's like a horror movie. And then I have like the movie is like an hour and a half or 2 hours or whatever it is. But I have like 9 scenes throughout it. I counted, and I'm like, oh, there's so much you could. And there was no restrictions on like
Okay.
them, that it had to be like, like,
Verbatim.
or quick.
Mm-hmm.
So then you feel more like confident, and then you're just thinking, not even about the lines. What is this scene trying to say? What is your character? What does he want? Like, what's it? What does this scene have to do for the whole movie?
Mm-hmm.
Versus worrying about the lines, where that makes you feel no pressure.
Yeah. Yeah. We in the horror group I work in, we do a lot of found footage, which is more improv, loose space of where we want the plot threads to go. So we may have, our full script may be like 40 pages altogether, but we have the scenes on there, and we will let our actors kind of, this is the point we want to get to, but how you get there, as long as it's good, we're okay with it.
Yeah, and I think the best directors are like that too. Like, to me.
Yeah.
But of course, there's always ones where they want line for line too.
Mm-hmm.
It's just different.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting, talking to directors that are, yes, we do improv, or yes, we do line for line, and hearing like yourself from as an actor, seeing which is a preference for a lot of people, because anyone could be there with the script doctor and go, oh, you didn't say that right, let's do it again. Put
Yeah,
this
that could
on
be
there.
annoying. I don't know about for you, but I could find that annoying. Where I might have said one little thing like it was slightly different, but it was and I'd yell at the script person. It means the same thing, like, because sometimes I feel like if you paraphrase a little bit, it makes it better, like,
Mm-hmm.
But then I guess I get it when it's also like Shakespeare or like a famous director or whatever, that they wrote that and it means everything, that
Right.
they would want you to say it word for. But that's definitely harder, though, for sure, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I always had issues with that when I was when I was learning acting. Was, the memorization was fine, but like the not being able to change it, because if you change something slightly, especially when it's just like a two-person show, it messes the other person up.
Yeah, I mean, how much
I
are you changing it?
not a whole lot, but
Because
I know that one.
sometimes it's a keyword that the actor has to go off of,
Yeah, yeah, and I think that's just that. It's you have your lines memorized, but you also kind of have to memorize it. Well, I found other people's reactions to it, so you help him keep in line. But I think stage is a lot different than film and TV because stage is you don't have takes, you don't have only have to worry about knowing the line for 20 seconds at a time.
Mhm. Yeah, definitely.
So I mean, so you talk about true crime stuff like that and being a criminal. Do you have a other like preferred genre you want to work in that you maybe haven't worked in yet?
Like, I would like to do more like romantic comedy kind of stuff,
Okay.
or just like comedy in general.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I
Definitely try experiment more in that like genre. Yeah.
right. And you always see kind of behind the scenes of comedies that people do get to improv. They say the 80 different lines, whatever's the funniest is what they end up keeping in the movie. So I think you have a lot more that drive behind your character than just to say spur of the moment things.
Mhm. Yeah, I think that's the fun of it. Yeah. Like I've done background work on Happy Gilmore 2,
Okay.
and a bunch of random comedies like with Pete Holmes, I think was one of them, where I
Mhm.
always, that's one of the things you always see. You see the director feed an actor, like, do this, like, or Adam Sandler yelling at someone, uh, say, like, some little thing he thought of randomly just to make it fun, like, do, like, or whatever, like, whatever it is, like, but yeah, it's just in the, like, it's random. They didn't rehearse it. Yeah, that's the,
Mhm.
like, but that's like the beauty of, yeah, that's the fun of comedy, just everyone goofing each other and making trying to make everything funny, hilarious, like, yeah.
Right, because as I talk to writers that do comedies, is when it's stage and theater or improv, you have the response right away, so you know what works and what doesn't. When you're just writing something down on a piece of paper and having someone else deliver the line, you don't know if that's going to hit or not. you know,
Yeah, that's true. So that's why some comedies might there's a risk.
hmm yeah, I think I think that'd be fun. We do horror, but like I said, we did a short comedy. I'd like to do a little bit more comedic stuff at some point in time too, but we'll see.
I definitely want to do like a horror movie where um it's like you walking in the dark and then I'm screaming my head off, like the cliche kind of like,
hmm
or like I'm the scared person. I'm scared of whatever it is, and I want someone watching and yelling at the TV at me that to not go into that room.
right. Yeah, I prefer to just get killed as much as possible and get as bloody as possible in our movies, just because I think it's fun.
Oh yeah, that's definitely fun. How you get killed
Yeah, yeah,
and working on your how you got killed reactions.
hmm yeah. I may be doing a mold of my head at some point in time here, just to have ready to shoot or chop or blow up.
Oh wow, that's hardcore.
I love it though.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's unlike anything, which is the best part about horror movies
hmm
and the creativity of killing people and just everything. Because there's so many different kind of horror movies too.
Yeah.
Like how Get Out is like a horror movie,
hmm
but then it's like it's psychological, like versus or like Jason or or like Nightmare on Elm Street, where you're a kid and you're like afraid you're gonna wet your pants because this is so scary and you can't sleep.
Right. So if you said talk about being that character, like people are screaming at the screen, don't go into that room. Do you prefer that type of character, or would you prefer to be like the undying serial killer in the horror movie?
I would want to do both. Yeah, that's I or even play both in the same movie. Like I'm running for myself.
Yeah.
but probably not that. But yeah, the first time I play someone scared running away from someone, I want the person to be like a badass, super like scary
Hmm.
horror, whatever it is.
Yeah. Yeah, I said it's good fun. Now, are you said you're writing something right now?
No,
Or
no,
okay.
I don't usually. Yeah, I don't write. I'm not a writer. Don't
Okay.
DM me about writing. Everyone watching this.
Is it something you can envision yourself doing at some point?
Nah, I don't think I have the patience. Respect to all writers out there. Love you.
Okay, that's perfectly fair. You know, it is a whole other beast to write. That's definitely true.
Yeah, and it's hard enough acting already. Like to
Yeah.
be a, if you are a good actor, I think it's underrated. Like the work that you have to put into
Hmm.
like stuff. Which yeah,
Yeah. I mean, you have to take someone else's words and then mold it in a way that the director finds acceptable of your delivery and stance and everything. So you're playing someone else's vision, but also making it your own at the same time.
yeah, and making people believe
Hmm.
that whatever you're selling to them,
Yeah.
like they believe it. Yeah, whatever it is.
Yeah. Now, with this work you've done, do you find it kind of surreal to see that you're up on like Amazon Prime and that you have stuff up there?
Not really, because I've been working so long that I know eventually, like you got to have belief in yourself that eventually you're gonna get where you envision.
Hmm.
Like I feel like I should be, uh, I want to be, I want to have my name on the headlights. I mean, what's it called? On the theater,
Yeah. Yeah.
the marquee,
Yep.
the marquee. I'm not saying it, I'm not being an egomaniac saying it's gonna happen, but that's the like the end goal.
Hmm. And there's nothing wrong with
Hmm.
that as a goal. It's everyone wants to do it, right?
So I just got to try my best, and that's all the world could ask for me.
Hmm. You know, I don't know about you, but I know when I'm in stuff, I cannot watch my scenes
Uh,
afterwards.
oh, you don't nitpick it?
I will nitpick it so I don't watch it. I'm like, I don't want to see myself in this scene. I will watch everything else around it except my scenes.
Oh, but I feel like that's the beauty of uh getting better. Like
Mhm.
you watch it and you're like, oh, really? I should have did that
Yeah,
something else.
yeah, for sure. All right,
Or if I
John.
just waited there 2 seconds and then walked off, then it would have been better. Or whatever it is. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, for sure. And that's a problem with working on your own projects that you're co-writing or assistant directing is that you know you could do it again. You know what it has to take, but you also know that you gotta get it done. So I could sit there and edit all day until
Well, yeah.
it's done. So, all right, cool, John. Well, we are approaching the end of the show, so we're gonna get into some of these wrap up questions here. So, you know, I guys ask everyone as always, practical or CGI?
Practical. But I
Yeah,
get CGI too.
yeah.
If you can make me forget there's CGI there, then I'm all on board.
Oh yeah. And I think that's going back. That's what makes the original Jurassic Park so good. It's almost seamless between practical and CGI. It's still 32 years later, looks fantastic. We all
100%.
we all lived through the mid 90s, late 90s of really bad CGI though.
Yeah, there's still some bad CGI, unfortunately.
Hmm. So John, if someone knocked on your door and said, "Hey, I have this dream script for you," what would that dream script be? What would you want to work in, like an existing IP
Oh,
or?
I already know some Martin Scorsese crime drama like movie.
Okay,
That's my main.
yeah.
I want to play like a bad guy. Maybe someone getting beaten up and like I'm what's it called, locked in a chair and people are trying to kill me for information.
Yeah.
Or like a super crime Bob Moss thing. Like The Rock just got cast in. You heard about that? He's gonna do a Scorsese movie.
He is?
Yeah, he's gonna play a Hawaiian crime lord or some or mobster or something.
Huh.
I would like to play it. I would like to play that without the Hawaiian crime part. Hawaiian part.
Yeah. I assume there's some jungle involved somewhere in that movie.
Oh, I don't know. I know DiCaprio's in it, and so is the girl. Though the movie he's in, the jungle movie with. Why am I?
Emily Blunt?
Oh yeah, Emily Blunt. Yeah.
Okay. Huh. Did not know that. Interesting. All right. So, John, any advice for people getting into the world of acting?
Just expect to hear negative stuff and don't listen to it. And just, if you want to do this, just believe in yourself and plow forward and do your research and don't sign with the agency where they ask you to take photos for $300 and then don't be surprised when they disappear. So don't do stuff. Don't pay to play. Right.
Yeah.
But just keep at it. Just keep your head up and don't listen to the haters.
Awesome. So before we go, John, where can people find you, follow you, learn everything about you? Give us your pluggables.
YouTube at John Khinda. I'm always trying to grow that channel. Instagram, same thing at John Khinda. JohnKhinda.com. Okay. I make it easy for people to. It's not that. YouTube, Instagram, my website. That's all I like. Even though I haven't updated my website in a while, but it has everything on there, like links and stuff.
Awesome. Thank you very much, John, for coming on tonight. And for anyone that's new here, follow us on all social media at PodOutatNight. You'll see all our updated shows, posts, podcasts, everything we do here. Really appreciate it, John. Thank you very much for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
All right.
Enjoy the rest of the NBA playoffs.
Yes. All right. And make sure to not get lost in the void. Good night.